We're looking here at Grand Isle, which is one of the areas under a mandatory evacuation that's in effect for the low-lying areas of Jefferson. Ricky, can you hear me now?
I'm here.
Hey there, we're just checking in. Yeah, we're checking in to see how preparations are going. I was just saying, of course, there's a mandatory evacuation for low-lying areas like Grand Isle, which we're showing on the screen right now. How are things going?
Doing fine. I want to thank y'all so much for keeping our constituents and listeners informed. Right now, it's a beautiful morning here in Grand Isle. We have winds roughly about 10 miles an hour out of the east. And the good part about it, people have listened and heeded the warnings. About 90% or plus have left and evacuated Grand Isle, and it's quiet here right now.
That's definitely a good thing. And of course, those other low-lying areas under a mandatory evacuation as well, Crown Point, Jean Lafitte, Lower Lafitte. Have you heard anything from those areas as far as evacuations?
Yes, I actually just got off the phone with Mayor Kerner. The evacuation is still mandatory in Crown Point, Lafitte, Lower Lafitte, and Barataria. People are basically heeding the warnings there as well. They're also doing some flood fighting ahead of time with sandbags being placed to try to combat tidal surges.
That's definitely a good thing. They're taking heed of those warnings there. What about for people under the voluntary evacuation in Jefferson Parish? What are the sense you're getting from them?
Well, you know, people forget that Jefferson Parish encompasses from the Gulf of Mexico all the way to Lake Pontchartrain and Kenner and Metairie. So naturally, we're watching the forecast for tidal surge off of Lake Pontchartrain in those areas as well. There is a voluntary evacuation for the parish as a whole. People have taken notice of that, and some people have evacuated, and actually that helps protect their life. You know, and we recommend that if you can get out, take the opportunity now to get out while you can, while the weather is nice.
Sure, and you're saying that as we show the traffic cameras of people trying to leave the city right now. Traffic is terrible already if you're on I-10 West trying to get out of the city. Are you hearing folks in that voluntary evacuation zone saying they're going to stay in place? That's what I'm hearing from a lot of my friends in the Kenner and Metairie area. They feel like they'll be okay. And then as we look at the interstates, we see a lot of other people trying to leave. What would you tell someone who's on the fence at this point?
Well, let me just say this. You know, each individual has to calculate their own risk. But if you can get out, look, services, if the storm has to take a jog to the east and affects us directly, and we have 120-mile-an-hour winds impacting Jefferson Parish as a whole, you're going to have more than just power outages. You're going to have structural damage, power outages. Your water, it could be interrupted. So if you can leave, leave. Make sure your family is safe. There's nothing more important than life and limb, and property can be replaced. So, you know, if you can leave, leave. If not, at one point, you're just going to have to hunker down. Make sure you got your medications, your water, your supplies, as well as make sure you check your drains. You know, right now the parish is cleaning as many drains as it can, canals, pumping down waterways. But citizens need to pay attention and address some of the drains in front of their own homes, and that would be a great help.
Sure, we all got to do our part. All right, Ricky Templett, we'll talk to you again throughout this storm. Stay safe until we check back in with you. Thank you so much.